Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel. If you are a regular subscriber, thank you for coming back and your support in liking and commenting and that sort of thing. If you are new and found me by accident or by recommendation, then welcome to you as well. I hope that you find value here and choose to subscribe, like, comment, and the usual shtick. Today is going to be a relatively short video in that I will be talking about what my plan is for a jelly roll that I bought not so long ago. Now, I didn't even know, like, I'm not a quilter, so I don't even know if that's a quilting thing, to be honest. I didn't know anything about jelly rolls. But I found one when thrifting, brand new, sealed in its package. I had the label, but anyway, it doesn't matter. And and it was priced at $30, which I thought, ooh, that's pretty steep. But then I used a new app on my phone called Google Lens, I think it's called. And, it does you take not a photo, but you take a shot of whatever it is you're trying to identify or locate or whatever. And basically it comes up with search results, and it showed me that this particular brand, Moda, I don't know if that's how you say it, that they can be $45 or, around that price range. So I thought, well, brand new. My fabric supply will only last until about 2035, so I needed to get some more. And anyway, so this thing was sort of kicking around, and I thought, okay, if I'm buying it, then I darn well better use it. So what I did was, excuse me. Oh, I should do a viewer warning here. I am going to be talking about things like ironing and about things like sewing. Now, I know that many people have found a way to avoid having to iron anything, wardrobe-wise, so are probably less than thrilled about having to iron anything in their craft life. Anyway, what I did was, now because they are now in Fort, okay, this is sort of this is the width that a piece of fabric is. And it just basically had one crease in it. But I ironed, all the strips. And then I divided them into colorways. And I ended up with 5 or 6. I can't remember. Anyway, so what I decided to do from that point was, if I had a grouping... Oh, I'm sorry. So sorry. I kind of figured out what arrangement I liked, and then I pinned them together. And I think these things are 2 inches wide, 2.5 inches wide. So I basically pinned them together. Now, I certainly hope there's somebody in the world who likes this color combination besides my daughter, with that green and that mustard yellow. I think it is fairly hot. Anyway, so this is how I pinned it. So if I had my strips laid out side by side by side, then obviously right sides together, I pinned the first 2 together, and then I pinned the next 2 together, and then the next 2 together, and then the final 2 together. So that's how that looks. Oh, and before I did any of that, I think these pieces, if I'm not mistaken, were 42 inches long. So I thought, well, okay, if my intention is to make these sort of, well, not exactly patchwork, because or I guess maybe it is patchwork, even if it's just strips. I thought, okay, maybe I should be proactive here and cut off a 6-inch strip, but that includes the selvage, of each strip so that if these become journal covers, it's nice to have some coordinating fabric left over to do something else with. So my thinking was that, you know, this could be either cut into smaller pieces, torn into other smaller pieces for clusters, or it could be part of a fabric flip or whatever. But it gave me those options. So here's a little stack of those. I'll show you, I did stitch one set together. Whoops, lost a pin somewhere. Anyway, I'll show you what I stitched together. This is another color combo here. And of course it is, 42 minus 30, minus 6 inches. So what's that, 36 inches long or so. Anyway, I don't know if you can see the whole, I should show it to you this way. Then you can see the whole thing. Now, let me quickly grab a ruler and we'll see what we have here. Well, so it's, you know, it's over 11 inches. And of course, I told you, it's probably a yard long. Now, I used teeny tiny seam allowances. I don't know if you can see that, but it's, you know, probably was a scrawny 1/4 of an inch. So I thought before I show you, I should press all these seam allowances. I didn't want to fool around opening up, you know, typically you'd open up a seam and press it open. But I mean, this is so tiny, so fiddly, that I just thought press them all in the same direction. It's so small, it's not going to adversely affect the front. And it will look a lot neater when I show it to you. So that is kind of where this stands. Now, because I've ironed this all again, I will be, you know, draping it over a hanger or something like that, or rolling it so it doesn't get creased again. I don't know how or when I'll be using this. Excuse me. You will notice that I left all the pinked edges. And that's why I felt fairly confident that I could have this skinny little seam allowance, because this is, you know, like quilter's cotton. It's not going to fray. It is not going to, if it's used for the intended purpose, those seams will never have any pressure or stress put on them. Plus, they'll be enclosed in some way, so they won't be exposed and harmed in any way. So that is that. So now the other, when I was going through all my color combos, I ended up with, I think most of these, okay, that has 5 stripes. This one has 5 as well. There were some duplicates. So what I ended up doing was making a little, you know, snip and ripping them the long way. Now, unfortunately, these things, many of them, were not cut on the grain, which means that you could end up with something like so. So it starts out, you know, being half and then goes crooked and becomes this. Now, I suppose, yeah, that would have been, okay, I can change this, my MO for the next bunch that I do. What I could have done was on a large cutting mat, lay it out and use a rotary cutter. Rotary cutter. To, you know, slice it evenly down the middle, whether it would be straight or not. because this now has a pinked edge and a torn edge. So I don't know. Anyway, I did all these without thinking of that alternative. So now it's, again, it's not the end of the world. The ones that are nice and sort of even, I just did a couple of these fabric ruffles to show you that that's another use for them. Again, if these large pieces end up as journal covers, which I guess now they have to, because what else would I do with them? There are these that also can be an additional way of decorating pages within the journal that will all coordinate. So that is the plan so far. Then, of course, there were some really, scrawny, bad, off grain kind of things. So something like this that ends up really quite skinny at this end, I could, iron it flat so I see what I have to work with, trim this wider part, and have it turn into a fabric tie. So 36 inches long, it may, I think that would be adequate for some styles of ties. So, I'm so sorry. So I guess that almost concludes what I want to say. The overarching point here, though, is that I bought something, made an investment that was more than a thrift store type, couple of dollars thing. And I was determined, let's pick a nicer one for the top. I was determined that I was going to put it to use. I wasn't going to, 3 months or 6 months later, come across this thing and wonder, what was I thinking? Was I running a fever that day? So now the commitment has been made. And I think that this definitely also falls into the category of a mass make. Because frankly, I will, since I've done that ironing and I've got them spread out all over the bed in groups, I will continue to pin the other sets. I will sew them. I will make a bigger stack of these because I'll continue to cut off the 6 inches. And add these ruffly things to my sewing pile. This one is really quite a, look at the difference. Maybe I'll cut off some of the chunks also to do some fabric clusters, and then know that I can bundle them, I can put them in a basket or a bag or something, and have all these component pieces kind of ready to go when the spirit moves me. So I think that that's an efficient way to do it, and it's certainly something that I believe is going to work for me. So I just basically wanted to come on and say that. I hope that you're having, this is a long weekend in Canada, Heritage Day weekend. So I hope that you're having a good weekend wherever you are and whatever you're doing. I also hope that if you need, if you've been obsessive about your crafting, I hope you get some distance from it and chill. If you've been aching to do more crafting, I hope that you get to do that as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.